Good morning. I'm Alan Cantor, a worship associate and member of the Unitarian Universalist Area Church at First Parish in Sherburne. Our welcoming words this morning from Gary Kowalski. In this quiet hour, may our spirits be renewed. In this gathering of friends, may we be ready to extend ourselves to those in need and with trust to receive the hand that is offered. In this community of ideals, may we remember the principles that guide us and reflect upon those things that give meaning to our lives, renewing our dedication to serve the highest that we know. In this time of worship, may our minds be open to new truth and our hearts be receptive to love. As we give thanks for this life we are blessed to share together.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, let's turn around and wave to our camera to the right of the peace flag. Hey, everybody at home. So just so you know, like we do the ushers, Alex and Phil are, they're right there. They were in the back ushering. If you want to usher, you can sign up on the email. It's a great way just to welcome folks, right? Just to say hi. So the ushers count everybody who's here, and sort of week in, week out, there's probably, I'm guessing, like about 80 of us here this morning, and then typically at home there's been about 55 or 60 devices. So just to kind of give you a sense of like, who's actually here? I haven't seen so-and-so, right, for a while. I want to give an announcement about announcements. I have said, like we want to try to do fewer announcements. And here's what we're noticing. Who doesn't really read their, not just church email, I'm just talking about email. Who does not always read their email? All hands better be up because it's everybody. And there is no judgment about this. It's just how it is. But what we're noticing, those of us who are on staff and those of you that do programs, is like, hey, like nobody's reading about my thing that's happening like today after church or during the week. And so I have sort of two messages. One is really do try to, if you're going to prioritize email, to look at the emails that Dara does, because she puts a lot of time into them and we love her. And there's a lot of really good information in there. And she sends them twice a week. So once typically Thursday or Friday and then Sunday morning. So I'm also going to be sharing what's happening so we all get a sense of what's going on, because some of us are auditory hearers and listeners and learners, and some of us read, right? So it's kind of, we're turning like both styles. Is that okay? We can do that a little bit? Okay. So I have a couple announcements today, and then we have a little tiny skit that I'm not going to do. One is just about air circulation and metrics, and the reopening task force that had worked so hard to come up with all of the ways that we can gather here in as safe a way as possible. And I just wanted to kind of remind us of what those are as we kind of head into winter, and some of you noticed, of course, that Massachusetts numbers are climbing up, and like, what does that mean? So reminder that through these vents, you can kind of hear the hum. We have air circulation devices, and Bill Churchill and Natasha Marquardt worked so hard to get all this stuff in. It circulates the air 5 times an hour, right, Bill? Ish. And there's one up in the choir loft, and there's one in the basement. So there's 2 of those, okay? The other is that the metrics we look at are the 3 towns that our congregation pulls from the most: Natick, Sherburne, and Holliston. We look at them every Thursday or Friday. Maria Kempner does that for us. And we decide whether it's good to go on a Sunday, okay? So she sends that to all of us on staff. We're good to go to have in-person worship. So I want you to know, like, we're not just kind of like, let's hope it's going to be fine. We do that to be mindful of what our numbers are in our area towns, not by county, because the county's frankly too big to reflect who comes here, okay? All right, what's happening today? Out front, we get to not hum the songs after service at noon. If I'm done preaching by then, we'll be out front. We'll be out front, and Sarah and Kathleen will be doing that. A grief group that Janie Holland, Janie, where are you? That's Janie Holland. Hi, Janie. Janie's leading this. It's the second time that you're doing this. Thank you so much for doing this. That's going to be the Olympia Brown Room, which is just over there. Let's see. And then this week, on Tuesday night, there's 2 things happening Tuesday. One is the Partakers Prison Ministry. For those of you who don't know what that is, many of us here companion people who have been in prison. I'm on Team Daniel. We have been working with Daniel. I know Bob Murchison is here along with me and Andy for 11 years. And he gets out, we think, by the springtime. If you're curious about opportunities to do this work, helping inmates get an education and just walking with them through this time in their life, you'll see in the email a link to do that Kathy Gear put in there. And then the last thing before the skit is that the 8th Principle Task Force. What is the 8th principle? We have 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism. The 8th we're going to be voting on in the new year, 2022. It is all about confronting and confronting and holding to account the work of anti-racism and doing all of that and other systems of oppression as Unitarian Universalists. So there are a bunch of people who are working so hard on that, and that meeting is on Tuesday night. So if you want to come to that, virtually or in person, look at the email. You can see information. Okay. Kevin, Hank, skit. And then we will...
Skit makes it sound like it's something, amazing.
Make it amazing, guys.
I don't know. Hey, Hank, isn't it great to be back in church?
So fantastic, Kevin. I love being here. And you just heard about the wonderful HVAC equipment that's making it safer to be here. And I love being able to sit at home sometimes too in my PJs and get the same great experience.
So HVAC equipment, we heard Nathan talk about it. You've talked about it. Didn't we do something to the steeple? Wasn't there water coming in or something?
Yeah, you can still see the remnants up in the ceiling of some of the water damage that still needs to be repaired. But we repaired the steeple and we put in some lightning protection. And man, oh man, did you see that lightning last night? Wow.
I mean, we should know. We're on the finance committee. That sounds expensive.
Woo! It was expensive. We've spent $210,000 already. But thankfully, we had a huge Welcome Home campaign last year where all of you pledged $370,000. We've collected about $72,000 so far, but we need your help to keep building on that number. Hey, Kevin, how do I give if I want to make a payment?
So we'll accept checks, But the easiest way and the quickest way is on Realm. If you need help getting on Realm, I'll be outside after service. Just let me know, and we're happy to get your pledge today.
That was amazing, guys. You're hired. All right, friends, invite you to greet one another. Remember, it's all about the consent and give a hug, yes, but, ask those around you. Opening words come to us today from the poet Rainer Maria Rilke. All will come again into its strength. And in the valleys, people as strong and varied as the land. The houses welcoming all who knock, and a sense of boundless offering in all relations and in you and me. But only longing for what belongs to us and serving earth, lest we remain unused. Please rise and body your spirit to hum along to hymn 1010, We Give Thanks.
Time we share with remain standing as Reggie Cantor comes forward to light our chalice. And let us say together our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. Please be seated. So now is the time for our Wonder Box, and this morning I am going to ask the kids to stay in their seats, but I would like to ask any parents or caregivers to come forward. If you have participated in taking care of a young person, particularly in the last 20 months, I would like to ask you to come forward. You're setting a terrible example. Hi, everybody. So we wanted to just have a switch it up, first of all, because switching it up is fun. And also we've been thinking about, particularly as kids are getting vaccinated this week, younger kids ages 5 to 12, knowing that not all kids are able to get vaccinated still. We thought it might be a good time just for us to acknowledge the work and the labor and the love that has gone into caring for young people all the time, but particularly over the last 20 months. So I just invite all of you who are up here and everyone in the sanctuary just to take a deep breath. And let it out slowly. I think so much of the pandemic has been this building up and trying to figure out what the right thing to do is. And in some ways, the pandemic is very much still happening. And in some ways, there's this period of releasing, of figuring out how are things changing now that kids are back in school? How are things changing now that kids can get vaccinated? And I'm curious what feelings, I've asked this to the kids a lot this fall, but what feelings are in your body as you think about this moment in time as it relates to the care that you've given, to the last 20 months, the things that you've maybe done that you hadn't expected to do as parents? What feelings are in your body right now? Tired, hope, ambivalence, relief, resignation, confusion, anxiety, love, awe, hope, recovery, gratitude, Impatience? Faith? Well, we just wanted to say, as your church community, we see you, all of you who are taking care of other people, young people, other family members, but especially people who have done the hard work of parenting and caregiving in the last 20 months. We as your church community just know that it has been unexpected and not what any of us signed up for, and very hard at times. So in the Wonder Box, who would like to open the Wonder Box? Come on. Oh yeah, Abby, it's all of you. Come on up. Gold stars. So this morning, everybody gets a gold star. Everybody here. Because you have made it to this point, and you get a gold star for that. And you have done it with love and grace and patience and courage and perseverance. So if you would like a gold star, I'm going to leave them on this table. You can get one as you go back to your seats. You can come up and get one as you leave the sanctuary. Anybody here can get one. And I want you to think about, what is it that you get the gold star for? What is it in the last 20 months that you have done that you deserve a gold star for? Because you get one. You can get, Heather Walker ordered me about 5,000 of them. I kid you not, so you can have a whole sheet. If you need a whole sheet, you can take a whole sheet. So whether you are a kid or a parent or a grown-up or an elder, you can get a gold star for whatever it is that you need a gold star for. And remember that we are here as your community cheering you on, even when it feels hard and even when it feels lonely, and even when it feels unsure about what the next right step is, that we are here with you and for you. So thank you so much for joining us up here, and I invite you to go back to your seats, and I invite the kids to join me downstairs. Oh, you can also put them on your name tag if you'd like.
This is the time in our service when we move to draw nearer to our center, to ourselves. So be you here in the sanctuary or at home, just place your feet flat on the ground and take a few nurturing breaths. Breathing in peace and out a smile. Give yourself to these moments of prayer, silence, and stillness. We will now have our call to prayer. Loosen, loosen.
Hold on, friends, technical difficulties with microphones.
Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Will you ease this pain?
Many of us carry prayers for loved ones, the world we share, and prayers of thanksgiving. I share now these prayers for loved ones. This prayer is from Molly, and is for the loved ones of Owen Sermon, who died this week. He was a longtime member here, and among his contributions to UUAC, he gave a sermon every year saying he was obligated because of his last name. Valerie asked us to pray for her friend LaShawn and her mom Jackie, who is undergoing cancer treatments. Alan Cantor asked us to say a prayer for Patrick McCarthy, who lost his life to brain cancer this week. For all these prayers and the ones that go unnamed, we light a candle. We now turn our attention to the world around us, our local community, and the wider world. There is so much violence in this world, and we try our best to contain it. We think especially today of the world as a climate summit has just ended and has left those, our youth, certainly feeling unheard. So we hold as this work continues. For this and the prayers that go unnamed, we light a candle. And now we turn to our prayers of thanksgiving. With so much in the world, it's so important that we pause in the place of joy. We have a prayer from Polina, constant reminders of the world's love and kindness. Arlen has a prayer of thanksgiving, all amazing books. Yes. And Hank and Susan Rausch have a prayer of thanksgiving. Spencer Rausch is 21 today. Very exciting. Friends, please join me now in the spirit of prayer. God of many names and no names. This is such a remarkable time, mixed with so much hope and so much concern. For those who have children between the ages of 5 and 11, we seem as if we've finally reached a place where the vaccine can be administered to them, and that comes with great hope, but it also comes with concern. And so we ask that we hold both, that it is both, that this time of ambiguity is both. Help us to rest in this and to try to hold it, that one can be both grateful and scared. As we look to the darkening days of winter and wonder what will things be like in the world, we ask for reminders of the little joys in our life, the communities within communities that sustain us. Let us feel that renewed in this place. Gracious God, we ask that we can lean into the relationships in our lives and know that it is through this that we find ourselves. Let us hold this silence.
Our reading for today is called Restorers of Life by Talitha Arnold. The women said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without next of kin, and may his name be renowned in Israel. He shall be to you a restorer of life and a nourisher of your old age." From the book of Ruth. 5 verses into the book of Ruth, her mother-in-law Naomi has lost her husband and 2 sons. By verse 14, Naomi's daughter-in-law, Orpah, has turned back to her own home. Only Ruth, the other daughter-in-law, herself a widow, accompanies Naomi as she makes her way back to Bethlehem. If ever there was someone who walked the valley of death, it was Naomi. By the book's end, Naomi's journey has taken a different direction. Ruth marries Naomi's kinsman, Boaz, and bears a son. The village women rejoice with old Naomi and proclaim that the baby shall be to you a restorer of life. You probably know a few such restorers of life, too. For me, one is Augustus Von Stone, new infant son of my nephew and his wife. They live far away, so I've yet to meet him in the flesh, but his proud papa sends regular photos. After 19 months of pandemic shutdowns, insurrections, and racial killings, young Augustus's bright eyes and Yoda face restore my life and hope on a regular basis. So do the pictures of my nephew looking happier than ever before. Restorers of life come in all ages, sizes, and colors. Sometimes they are a part of our lives for many years, sometimes only for a moment, when their smile or word of encouragement blesses and brings us back to life. In this season of Thanksgiving, may we remember and give thanks for such restorers in our lives.
I'm so excited to show us this video about our offering recipient today. Before I do, Valerie, thank you so much for that beautiful song. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. We have given to Place to Turn, which is in Natick. It's a food pantry in Natick. Barbie Breer, where is Barbie? Barbie, how many years have we done that? 2003, so my first year in ministry here. And so a long time, and so many of you have brought in food. And a few of you did today. There's a basket in the back there in the front, if you will. So I want us to today's recipient's going to, obviously, is Place to Turn, and their director, Joanne, made this video to show us what happens and how they've done their work over the pandemic to meet so many people in need, which as we know, friends, has just expanded and exploded. So let us watch this video that Joanne put together for us.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day to be welcomed to A Place to Turn. We are ready for our Tuesday morning distribution. Hello to everyone at UUAC Sherburne. I'm going to introduce Christian.
My name is Christian Spana. I'm the food pantry coordinator here at A Place to Turn. I am the first person that our clients come in contact with to check them in. And a fun fact is that I speak English, Spanish, and Portuguese, so I am trilingual, which definitely helps the community.
Super helpful. So it's lovely to have Christian be that first point of contact. We really try to serve in a respectful manner, even though, as you'll see, for those of you who've been here before, that we are doing things differently. Through COVID, we continue to distribute outside. We try to make it a choice situation, a farmer's market type display. When we go inside, you'll see we do have some pre-packed bags, but we are doing our best to offer choice. The first person greeted after they check in, Jennifer has a choice table set up. We're really trying this entire month of November to offer Thanksgiving items to those we serve. And for us, we decided instead of putting together baskets, it's much better to give that choice, because there are many people that won't use the pumpkin, won't use the cranberry, so there's much less waste, and people are very appreciative. We are giving everyone who comes the month of November a gift card, and that will help them purchase the turkey or whatever they choose to do for their family. Sharon's responsible for really the nutrition piece at A Place to Turn.
Hi everyone, my name is Sharon, and I help with the Eat Fresh program, which has become a very important part of our work here. We try to be client-centered and are trying really hard to listen what their preferences are. Thank you. And so we've made certain items basic staples in our assortment, including plantains, yuca, spinach, and chayote, which is another vegetable that we hadn't had in the past. But we've gotten really great reception for this, and families seem to be really happy with our choices.
Thank you. It's definitely an important part of what we're doing here, and something that we pride ourselves on. So traditionally in the past, this was our waiting room. People would enter, light, bright organization, and now it is a staging area for the pre-packed bags that we will be distributing. We have everything worked out to the size of the family, and we have the bags ready to go, including bread, etc. So this was our waiting room. It's now a staging area. We still have the 2 rooms, for those of you that were familiar with us, set up for shopping. Although people cannot come in and make their choices, we are using them as bag packing stations. This is Karen. Karen is our nutrition and resource coordinator who actually does the purchasing.
Hi, thank you very much for your generous donations. It allows me to purchase shelf-stable items to follow the My Plate guidelines for our clients, and it's really appreciated.
And here is the My Plate, and we do strive every day to treat people with respect and make sure that they have the nutrition that they would like. So thank you so much. We really appreciate everything that UUAC has done over the years, and look forward to the holiday season.
Good stuff, yeah? So you can give to the QR code, and then if you just have cash, there's a bowl in the back. And Indy, it's the next slide, I think, for the piece that you have.
I can make a better place with my
gonna make it a brighter place with my own two hands. I'm gonna make it a safer place with my own two hands. I'm gonna help the human race with my own two hands, with my own two hands, with my own two hands.
I can hold you with my own two hands. I can comfort you with my own two hands. But you to use your own two hands. Use your own two hands. Use your own two hands.
With our own two hands. With our own two hands.
My own two hands.
That was a deep pandemic cut from last year. Friends, with our own two hands, we hold the world, and here it is. Beautiful things are here in our midst, and so are hard things, and we try to keep our hearts tender and our eyes soft and our words true. This is what you and I try to be about. We know there is no answer but to love each other. We bear witness against destruction. We gather here in community, whether it's in person or at home, to practice being the person that we're trying to be. We cannot do everything, but we can do something, and that something is never nothing. So let us ring the bells that still can ring inside of you and in your life, and forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything, and say with me, that is how the light gets in. This past Monday brought me the delayed task of what I call tarp and leaf. Now, despite the name, this is not some new, fancy, overpriced suburban gastropub. You know, it's raking leaves. I've got a love-hate relationship with autumn. Because while there is the way that the sun angles through the trees, and there's a blue sky just like today, and it casts a light even when you're driving east on Route 9 in Natick, like through the car sales, like landscape, like even that sort of ugly bit, in autumn, it's beautiful. But there's also the way that my once giant hostas and sunflowers now lay flat and limp across the grass. They're slimy with rain. Do you know what I mean? And they're a husk of the life that they once had. They're a husk. It is a professional hazard of ministry and of life, everybody, to get familiar with loss, which is our November theme. But the truth is that Jason said this last week, I am tired, I am fed up of autumn's reminder that winter is coming. I don't want to live in a Game of Thrones episode, people. So this past Monday, I dragged out the tarp and the rake and the clippers to cut and clear away and rake away death. Landscapers don't call it that, raking away the death. But I think that they should. Because what I was really doing on Monday morning was not a fall cleanup. It was about this desire I have to be restored. I want to be restored from my sometimes melancholic mood. And if my family's watching, they're like, sometimes? I want to be restored from my COVID hypervigilance. And I have like a posture. It's just like, right? Like, you're just like, I want to be restored from being too much in my head and too much in the headlines. I want to be restored from my furrowed brow that has given me these right here, these lines. You can see them at home because India's like zooming in on them. These lines are given me from being a worrywart, which is what anxiety was called before I knew my therapist could help me with it. It's only November, but I want to be restored to life. Is it spring yet? Mr. Rogers said to look for the helpers, right? But what might it mean for us to look for the restorers? Now, that's a question. That is my question. What will it be like for us to look for the restorers? To all of you and to me, to us. We who are all together, but not quite. We who are looking forward to the holidays, but thanks to our hypervigilance, not quite. We who are back at church just like the old days, but it's not quite. I mean, it's like half the amount of people here that we used to have. We can't sing yet. It's not quite. We who have one eye on the UN Climate Change Conference the last few weeks in Glasgow and the other on the forecast. I mean, everybody, there was like thunderstorms and tornado warnings yesterday. It's the middle of November. We who, you and I, this week, the same week, are watching the trials of those who killed Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia while he was jogging. And the same week, Kyle Rittenhouse, who killed two and injured a third with an AR-15. He was 17 when he drove up from his home in Antioch, Illinois to Kenosha, Wisconsin during a Black Lives Matter protest. And we who, as Brian Stevenson's, he's from the movie Just Mercy, which I commend to you. It's a great book and it's a great movie. I commend to you. Brian Stevenson, who was on Bean last Sunday before I arrived here with Krista Tibbett, who said that hopelessness about all of this stuff that you and I are wrestling with, all of the gold stars that we're earning, all the hopelessness is an enemy of justice. You can't be hopeless, he said, and a friend of justice. And then he said, people are more than the worst thing they have done. People are more than the worst thing they have done. That's a challenge, watching Kyle this week. These words, all of these ways, Brian's words, they restore me. As I see and feel with you like all of the husks, I love the word, because it sounds like how it feels. All of the husks of life that used to be, or that is almost, this not quite normal at all feeling that we are living still. Are you with me? I'm asking that a lot in my sermons. I want you to know, and I want you to know why. Because I want us to not feel alone. We are all in so many different places. Like, we're at home, we're here, we're like, one week we're over here, another time we're over here, we're relaxed, we're hypervigilant, we're confused, we're sad, we're joyful, like we're all over the place. And I just want us to put our arms and my arms around us. Still social distance, but just to kind of, to hold us together. To be restored. Nathan, this is my wife Karen now. It's Monday at noon. Put the rake away, it's time to go. But I'm raking away death. I'm restoring myself to myself. I'll get you coffee, she says. Okay. Where are we going? Where are we going? Friends, we are going to the airport. I haven't been to the airport except to pick up my mom, like in a driving fast, like blaze through like Terminal B in 22 months. But this time we're actually parking. $8 an hour. And we go all the way, it's Terminal E, we go all the way up to level 7 because this place is packed with cars. It's Terminal E. You know that bridge that goes over from the parking lot to Terminal E? It has these fun, like, walking escalators that make you so glad that you live like in the modern times. And on the tiles, on the floor, if you've seen them, I want you to look. There are these, somebody's job it was to make these tiles in the shapes of whales and starfish. So often the airport, so often for us, for you and me, the airport is like the 5th circle of Dante's hell. Okay? But on this day, it is a great church. It's a cathedral, everybody. I'm going to now give it the name. The International Logan Airport Tabernacle of Life Restored. The International Logan Airport Tabernacle of Life Restored. $8 is a bargain, friends. Why? Because on this past Monday, it's November 8th, it is the first day in 20 months that international travel to America has been allowed. And now Terminal E is not a terminal at all. It instead is a great sanctuary of light and song and prayer and laughter and tears and balloons and clapping and joy. And you're thinking, well, you're just being like metaphorical and minister-like and preachy-like. And I want to say to you, try being a preacher without being preachy. It's not easy. It's not easy, Jason. Somebody's like, you're all preachy. It's like, well, you know, that is my title. But anyway, why are we there? We are there to pick up my in-laws from England, their first time here to see their American family in 828 days. And Karen's got her sign. I don't know if India, this is going to be too high for the camera. Get the kettle on, which is British for it's the kettle. Nanny and Granddad are here after 828 days apart. Welcome, we missed you. And around us, there are these East Indian families, and there are British families. There's a guy that looks like Rod Stewart. I mean, might have been Rod Stewart. He had like bleach blonde, like this crazy hair, and this like big gold necklace. I was like, that's got to be Rod Stewart. He wanted to come to Boston. the International Tabernacle of Life Restored. That's why he's here. And there's a young woman who's waiting for her mom from England she hasn't seen in over 2 years. And she's crying. There are a gaggle of exchange students meeting their host parent for the first time. And there are balloons and there are signs everywhere. This is not a terminal on a Monday afternoon. This is what I'm telling you. This is now an altar call. Because folk are running like it's got this railing, and you run around it, and it says, "Do not enter here." The security guards, police are just like, whatever, as people drop their signs and run full steam into one another's arms of folks they have not seen in 2 years or more. I am there for the in-laws, but actually, as I cry and pretend it is allergies, I'm there also to rake away death. To rake away death. And every time those doors, they open automatically, and you can see people come through, and they push their carts of luggage, and they let them glide into the wall as people fling themselves into one another's arms, and life is restored. Do you need restoring? I'm telling you, go to Terminal E. I am telling you, it is the best $8 you're going to spend. My point is that we need to be intentional about looking for restoration. Hope and life are not just going to jump into your lap all the time like a friendly cat. Gage. Gage has so many cats. You have to practice life restoration. So that's why come Thursday afternoon of just this past week, I'm standing outside the Holliston Town Hall, which is where I live, and I'm straining to hear the rabbis and this African American minister from Framingham, and I'm straining to hear the town selectmen through the fuzz of like this too small speaker, and the traffic behind us on Route 16, and of course the company that's doing work on the side of the building, they have a lift. And every time somebody tries to talk, they turn it on. You can't hear a thing. And we are all there to denounce and stand up to a recent spate of hate speech in the middle school and the high school of Holliston. Phil mentioned this in your prayer last Sunday. We had the N-word on the middle school and the high school. We had a swastika. We had homophobic slurs, all in the bathrooms and in the hallways. And behind me on Thursday afternoon, there are several of you, and you're wearing your rainbow flags like capes. And there are various other kids, of course not our kids, but other kids who are looking totally bored, wondering how long the prayer is going to be, because clergy talks so long, and I get it. Here's my point. It doesn't matter what was being said. It doesn't matter that I couldn't really hear them. The point is that against the death and the destruction that hate has always been in our communities, but now has come out in the open so that those of us in the suburbs, which is all of us, can't pretend anymore that it doesn't happen here. It's always happened, you guys. But I'm there with everybody just for a little bit of restoration. I want to be around the restorers. We need to be around the restorers. We need to put a gold star, and we need to become the restorers when we can. That's what Thursday was like. That's what being here is like for me. I mean, I like practically fly out of here every Sunday now out of this tabernacle on wings. Because you restore me and we restore one another together. Life restored. And my point is that life calls us on. Winter is coming, but life calls us on. Where are you going to look? Where are you going to look? I want to recommend Terminal E, the children and babies in your life, Golden Afternoon. Covenant groups in our church community, the 8th Principle Task Force that I just mentioned, the Land Acknowledgement Task Force that you hear about next Sunday, singing hymns outside whenever I'm done. Oh, I'm only halfway, by the way. Hopelessness is an enemy of justice. And if you don't have hope, what I want to tell you is let those of us who are here hold it for you. If you don't have life, if you are a husk of life, let those of us here around you hold life for you. Life calls us forward, friends. It really does. And that's because it can and will be restored. It always is. Our job is to only, which isn't a small thing, our job is to look out and to look in. Love you all. Amen, amen, amen. We're going to sing one of my favorite, well, we're not going to sing. We're going to hum, Nathan. We're going to hum one of my favorite songs, Life Calls Us On. But sorry, rise and body your spirit, please.
And this song just always makes me want to sway. So if it also makes you want to sway, just go ahead and sway. Or move however you feel it. Here in reverence now we gather for the blessings we have known.
Alone.
So everybody just look around. You can see the faces of people around you, and you can again wave up to our camera for those who are at home. This is no longer it's still First Parish of Sherburne, but it's also the Tabernacle of Life Restored. And we call ourselves onward with hope and love as we say together our call to ministry. We go forth into the world in peace to act with works of love, to affirm each person's dignity, and to cherish the living earth, as Sarah sings and we hum our final verse.